Hey ghosties, welcome back to Tales of Spooky Coffee House. If you're new here, welcome to our podcast. My name is Chelsea,
And my name is Veronica.
and we're your hosts. On today's episode, we'll be discussing our haunted location and serial killer of the week, and we're doing a special tarot card reading for Jazz. So, Veronica, are you drinking coffee today?
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna be able to drink coffee for a few episodes. Please forgive me. But I'll make up for it, I promise. I'll drink 5 cups per episode to make up for the times I've missed.
We literally named our podcast Coffee House because
Okay, but
we're coffee addicts, and then you decide not to drink coffee?
it's not that it's my choice, and I'm not gonna say why I can't drink coffee right now, but I literally cannot drink caffeine right now. So, Chelsea, chill, brother. Jesus.
First of
What
all,
are
sister, I'm not a dude. Second of all, I know your reason why you can't drink caffeine, and it kind of is your choice.
no, it's not. Oh my God. Anyways, what the flip are you drinking?
I'm drinking coffee, and I'm trying this new white chocolate mocha creamer. It's actually not that bad. It's a little sweet, but it's pretty good.
Do you like your coffee sweet or do you like your coffee like coffee?
I like it like halfway between, and then sometimes if I'm like really cranky, I need it more stronger and less sweet. And then if I'm in a happy mood, I like it sweeter than I do more coffee.
Yeah, because I honestly don't mind drinking black coffee. But also sometimes I'm in the mood to drink like a milky coffee. Um, I don't know, I could go without the sweetness though, but also I don't mind it. But
Yeah, same. And I'm trying all the creamers because my mother-in-law, who babysits at my house, keeps a bunch of creamers in the fridge, and I just bought her some new ones.
hmm
And she likes to try like every single coffee creamer that they come out with. So I grabbed a couple I didn't think she tried yet, and this one sounded good tonight.
so far 2 thumbs up with the white mocha.
Probably three thumbs up. I
Oh.
can I can I can make my big toe stand up.
I was gonna say I don't know where you're gonna find that third thumb, but hey,
Well, I
power
mean, we
to you.
just discussed that I am not a dude, so it's definitely coming
Oh
from
my
my.
God. Why? I call people dude. Dude should be like,
You called me brother,
okay, this time I called you dude. I didn't call you brother.
and I never said that you didn't. I just said that we already discussed that I'm not a dude.
Okay, so why are you bringing it up again?
You know
If I
what?
could punch you, I would. Like right in
Uh,
the face.
I can't stand you anymore.
I know you're pissing me off. Anyways, how have you been? What's new with you?
I've started this new TV show.
hmm
Do you remember? I swear to God, if you tell me you don't remember, the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Movie.
You never watched the movie?
No, but I read the book.
Okay, so then you know what it's about.
Yes.
They made a TV show on it,
Really?
completely different from the movie or the book. It's
Mm-hmm.
about I mean, the concept is the same, where it's an islandy type thing where they have like a lot of cliffs and blah blah blah, the water. It's a bunch of teenagers who accidentally kill somebody and they try to cover it up, and then 1 year later, that that's all the same. Um, but there's kind of a twist, and I'm kind of really digging it. The person that they murdered was the driver's twin sister.
Oh.
Yeah, so they covered up her twin sister's murder that she was part of, and then like she starts. Well, I mean, it says that it's her. Starts going after them, and there's like all kinds of things going on, and there's cults and like mass suicide from the cult like 25 years ago that keeps getting brought up. And at first, I thought it was weird, and now I'm starting to understand. So it's really interesting.
You know what it's reminding me of?
Hmm.
Riverdale. Like a bunch of teenagers trying to cover up, an accidental killing or whatever, or maybe not accidental, who knows? I don't know. It just sounds very familiar to Riverdale. But it sounds interesting nonetheless. I mean, I like Riverdale, so I'm sure I'll like this show. And is it on Netflix, you said?
No, it's on Amazon Prime. It's a Amazon original. But I feel like that's like all shows that have to deal with murder with teenagers. Like Pretty Little Liars sounds like that too, where they're trying to cover up stuff and
It's because it like these shows keep you on your toes, you know? You just want to know what's gonna happen, who's doing it, or like, did so and so really come back from the freaking dead? Like, it's just I don't know. I love that these type of shows.
yeah, yeah. And this one's like really throwing me for a loop. I really can't figure out who the killer is. I can't tell if it's the twin sister who came back or if it's somebody else. Like it's really throwing me for a loop. So
I love it. So have you read the book? I know what you did last summer.
yeah,
You did?
yeah, I've read both books.
Okay, and what about did you read a book called The Family Tree?
I'm work
The book that we were supposed to read together?
I'm working on it.
And how far in are you in that book? Like how many pages have you read? How many chapters?
How far are you in it?
I have read about 150 pages. I'm halfway done. No, just kidding. 200 because there's 400 pages, so I'm 200 pages deep in that book and
Are
it's so
you
good.
serious? Are you
What was that?
serious?
Yeah, freaking taking your time over here. I started it and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do a couple of chapters, whatever. And
So,
then it just gets more and more interesting and I'm just like, ah. So,
so for those of you that don't know, Veronica and I are reading a book together. It's called The Family Tree. It's one of those where the protagonist took a ancestry quiz, finds out she's adopted and tries to go into her family history, and then finds out that there's a killer in the family. And yeah, so it's really, really interesting.
I wish I could be like, yeah, so, the cousin, her name's Andy, right? The main character, her name's, what is it? Lizzie? I think it's like
Um,
Elizabeth, Lizzie. Andy buys Elizabeth the DNA test kit for her birthday. And yeah, dude, it's so good. Like, I just want to go into detail, like, with it, but if you guys are readers, if you guys like books, definitely check out The Family Tree. And once I'm done reading whoever wants to borrow it, it's all yours.
and we'll put a picture of the cover on our Instagram so you guys can find it and read it along with us and comment and tell us what you thought. And maybe in a future episode, we'll go over our thoughts and stuff on it.
Yeah, eventually when Chelsea finishes the book, we will do that for you guys.
Hey, I will get caught up to you.
I hope so, because I'm have a feeling I'm gonna finish like next week.
Hey, I also read a lot faster than you, so I may be only on page 18. I will definitely catch up to your 200.
I don't know, man. I've been working on my reading, all right? My words per minute. It's getting better and better.
I'm so proud of you. How long have you been doing that for?
Oh, just since like the end of December.
Yeah, I've been doing that since like middle school, so I got you beat still.
All right, so something you guys should know about Chelsea, she's a show off. Um,
That
and it really
is
hurts my feelings,
not
but
a lot.
whatever.
That is true.
You're still gonna call me the bully, aren't you?
Yes, but I like to just show off that practice the stuff that I went to school for and I'm in thousands of dollars of debt for. So when it comes to my schooling and stuff that's related to it, yeah, I'm gonna show off.
Anyways, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Um, we're gonna be doing, episodes on our experiences and whatnot, but we haven't really talked about anything spooky that has happened to us. So I wanted to ask you, like, if anything spooky has happened to you recently that you'd be down to talk about.
Um, there's that thing that happened while we were recording an episode that you know about.
Oh, yes.
We'll talk some more about that because that still trips me out. Um, my work has a ghost.
Oh, really? Oh, so does mine. Go ahead, tell me about your ghosty.
I have no idea where the ghost came from. There's literally like everybody that unless you've heard the ghost, you pretty much don't believe that it's there because there's like no reports or anything of why there would be a ghost there.
Mhm.
Like even before my job was built, like there's nothing.
Mhm.
Um, but there are a couple people, and I'm one of them, who if you work uh the late shift, the third shift, you hear some really weird noises, and there's one noise in particular that sounds like a woman screaming.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's kind of sketchy. Uh,
That's disturbing.
yeah, a lot of the maintenance guys say it's one of the machines, but I'm like, what kind of machine makes a screaming noise, and how come you only hear it on third shift and not the rest of the shifts? So
Mhm.
kind of sketch. What about you?
Okay, so I work in a pharmacy, right? And we have a little ghost in our pharmacy. Um, I kind of want to name the ghost. I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but we're just gonna name the ghost Gary.
What is it?
Now, Gary,
Okay, I thought you said Jerry.
it could be Jerry too. Gary,
We'll
Jerry,
go with
it don't
Gary.
matter.
We'll go with Gary. Either way, I got a family member named one of them. So
Well, so this dude decides to like haunt our freaking pharmacy out of nowhere. So I guess one night, after everyone leaves, the pharmacist locks up the pharmacy, and if anyone dares to try to come in, the alarm will go off. Obviously, the door's locked, so good luck. And one night, everyone went home, and I guess my boss got a call that the pharmacy alarm was going off, like someone was trying to break in. And I don't know, I don't think he was in town, so I think he sent um one of my other pharmacists to come check to see like what's going on. Um and when this pharmacist got there, they unlocked the door, they went inside. There's no one inside. Everything looks fine, everything looks normal. And this has never happened before, at least not in the 6 years that I've been working there. So that was fun and interesting. And then we also have like moments where I do see like movement in the corner of my eyes. And my coworkers already think I'm crazy, so I don't always like tell them like, "Hey guys, I just saw something," like. Or like the light in the IMZ room or the room where we give the shots. The light I think once turned on its own, or I forgot. Yeah, it just turned on because if it turned off, I mean that's normal, right? It's on a timer. And I think something happened in the with the bathroom light. I think it was on and then it turned off as soon as like someone walked in or as soon as I walked in. I don't remember who it was. But if anything else happens, I will keep you guys posted. I'm a shout out to Gary. Gary, if you want to show yourself, homie. What's up? Trying to get the narcos.
all right, I got a question.
Mm,
So the pharmacy that you work at is
mhm.
connected to another building. Is that building like 24 hours or
No,
no? Okay,
no.
so to get to your pharmacy, somebody would have had to break in to the other building, or was it still before
No,
closing?
well, so there's still customers. We I forget what time the other building closes, but there's still some customers roaming around the store. Um, oh, what was it during closing for the store? I don't think so. I think the store was still open. But I mean, if you're a customer, I think you'd be pretty dumb to try to break in. But they didn't see anything, like
Yeah, see, that's why
nothing.
I was wondering if like security footage or something would have caught somebody else, or if you guys looked into that, or
Nothing happened. Like, well, visibly to the eye, nothing happened.
okay, okay. So definitely something unseeable by the eye.
Gary.
Okay, you wanna get us started and talk about what haunted place you have for us this week?
Oh, yes. So my haunted place of the week is Museum of Death, specifically the one in Hollywood. I'm really excited to do this one because it's creepy AF and I've been here once. I was gonna say twice, but I've only been here once. So let's start off with some facts about the museum. The Museum of Death was created by J.D. Healy and Catherine Schultz in June of 1995. The goal of the museum was to make people happy to be alive. Before finding its home in Hollywood, the Museum of Death was originally located in San Diego in a building that the owners claimed to be the city's first mortuary. That's pretty wild. I mean, just the history alone right there, with the building. Ugh, I love it. Uh, JD and Catherine had a hobby where they would write to serial killers and show off their artwork given to them um, at these like shows that they would have. So quick question, would you be down to have a serial killer as a pen pal?
I mean, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But like, they legit just like wrote to like a bunch of serial killers.
Whoever would write back to them, yeah. So they would write to these serial killers and they would become pen pals and these serial killers would write back. And not only just in letters, but like they would draw them pictures and stuff. But if since you're down to be a pen pal with a serial killer, is there a certain serial killer you'd be like in specific that you'd want to be pen pals with?
So like, are we talking about like realistically or like just if I could any
No,
serial killer?
no. Realistically, right now, if you were to like, if you decided, you know what, this is dope, I'm gonna write to a serial killer and become pen pals with them, what serial killer would you choose?
I don't know. It's a good question. Okay,
So,
so
uh-huh.
serial killer, I don't know who I would write to right now.
No
Um,
worries. I'll ask you later on or in another episode because I'm actually really curious to see who you would want to talk to.
yeah, and I feel like if I actually chose somebody that I would want to actually go through with it. So I don't know. I guess I'm just like thinking. I'm probably overthinking it. What
Maybe.
about you? Do you have somebody that you would write to?
Um, nah. I'm
I
not
couldn't tell if
risking.
you were hesitating because you were like, I don't think so, or if like you had somebody and you were worried about what we
No,
were.
no. I don't have anybody. No, I don't have anybody in mind. That question was specifically for you because no, I would not do that.
Did
Uh,
you ask me that knowing I would say yes?
of course, you're freaking wild. Do you not remember what you were telling us in episode 2?
Which part?
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. Which part? Exactly. And if you guys have not listened to episode 2, I am telling you, Chelsea. Anyways, back to this.
Hey, my mom just finished listening to episode 2.
Uh-huh.
All she had to say it was really good, but wow.
Exactly.
And I
I
feel
got
like I feel like my mom probably thought that I was weird like that, but never actually like outright said it. But you know what? It's partly her fault because she raised me on horror movies.
this podcast is going to expose us more you than me, I feel. In a way that, people would never think to see us. But anyways, back to the podcast, please, before I fire you. Shout out to Taylor. She's up next to replace no, actually to replace me, you
Because you
know,
can't handle me.
because I keep what? I'm sorry?
Because you can't handle me.
I can't handle your lies. Now,
My
of course,
lies.
after a few years
What
of
lies?
gathering these collections, after a few years of gathering these collections amongst other things, they were able to make the Museum of Death to show off these items, to which the museum is now known as, and yes, you guessed it, the Museum of Death.
Okay, can we backtrack for a second?
Yes.
I, I first of all, I don't know what lies you're talking about. I
Oh
just
my
want
God.
that. Okay. But no, my actual thing, are these serial killer like letters in display at the museum?
They are actually not just the letters, but the artwork. Anything that JD Healy and Catherine Schultz could get their hands on that was legit, you will most likely find it at this museum.
Well,
And I've
shit.
seen,
Why didn't you take me there while I was out there?
because Chelsea, it was already hard to see you as it was, okay? Adult Adulting is hard. Adulting is hard, okay?
It's true. That's true. But I mean, I broke into your house, so I mean, that's not really that hard.
Again, with the exposing ourselves, mainly you. Yes, she did indeed break into my house. And no, my mom did not do anything to protect me.
Your mom was
She's
poke
just
her
laying
head
there
out,
asleep.
like saw who I was, and was just like, "Oh my gosh, hi!" I mean, obviously she didn't say that because she speaks Spanish, but yeah, she just looked at me and smiled and like walked away, and I'm like, okay.
I don't want to imagine my mom saying that. That's kind of weird.
Dude, if your mom ever said that in like an American English voice, I would legit probably just shit right in your living room.
You know what I thought about today? I don't even know if I should be saying this, but I'm
I
gonna
hope
tell
it's not.
you.
I hope it's not me shitting in your living room because that was just a joke.
You what in the living room? What? I didn't
You
catch
missed
this
that
part.
comment, didn't you? You missed
I
that.
did.
What were you thinking about? Well, let's just keep going.
Actually, I'm just not gonna say it. I'm just gonna keep going with the podcast before we
No,
get to
no, you
like.
don't have to tell me now.
I'll tell you when the podcast is over.
No, tell me.
No, I can't. I can't expose my mom like that.
Oh no, you really
No, I'm going back to this. So anyways, the move from their San Diego location to Hollywood
have.
came after they were evicted in 1999 because they attempted to purchase large amounts of materials from the Heaven's Gate cult suicides. And this was to recreate the scene as much as possible, which brought a lot of attention from the press. And I kind of wanted to ask you guys, to our listeners, if you guys are interested in learning more about the Heaven's Gate cult suicides, I wouldn't mind giving you guys some more information on that because it's actually really interesting. So I'm just gonna go over a small list of certain items that could be found in the museum. Uh, and some of those items include serial killer artwork, like we mentioned before. And this is some of the artwork they have. They have stuff from like John Wayne Gacy, who was a serial killer and sex offender, who was also known as the Killer Clown, which I'm sure we're going to do an episode on later on down the line.
You really hate me, don't you?
Are you doing John Wayne Gacy?
No, you have to do it on a fucking clown?
Oh, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do that episode. Oh, I'm so excited. Um,
No, you get me with dolls and now you're gonna get me with clowns? Jeez, are you
yeah.
trying to like give me a heart attack? I'm by myself, you know.
If it works. Um, so letters written by serial killers
Just
scream.
spit out my coffee. You're an asshole.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Keep going.
You will also find antique funeral ephemera. Ephemera? How do you say that?
I don't know. I can't see what
Em-
you're looking.
eph- Anyways, uh, mortician and coroner's instruments, Manson family memorabilia, pet death taxidermy, crime scene photographs, which include photographs from the Charles Manson. Um, what do you call that? Suicides and the Black Dahlia murder. Um, there's also a Day of the Dead section, and there's also a video on how an autopsy is performed, which I did not watch. Well, I
I
watched like a few seconds of, and
I
that was it.
legitimately want to watch that video.
There's
I have always
actually.
wondered.
Mhm.
That was that was all I want to say.
So you're just interested on the video of how an autopsy is performed.
Yeah, I read this book series when I was younger. I don't remember the name of it on the top of my head, but
Mhm.
there's like this 16, 17-year-old girl who was studying to be a mortician. She was
Mhm.
doing autopsies as a teenager, and I just thought that was like really cool.
Mhm.
Um, I think like her dad was a funeral home owner or something like that. That's why she had like
Mhm.
access to it. Um, But yeah, it was about that, and she had like the stalker. But ever since then, I wanted to know because she like the author really described like the smell and the cutting of the flesh, like how um this skinny girl, she was cutting into this skinny girl, and she was like, she's super skinny, and yet she still has like 2 inches of fat, and I was like, that's like really curious. Like, I don't know, I'm weird, I know.
Oh, we we know that. This is episode 3. We know that by now. Yeah, I mean, at the time I couldn't watch it. But I recently watched this documentary on YouTube about this guy who, does autopsies and stuff. And it's just a wild video because it's not even in a professional setting, It's just one of those like I don't know. I believe it takes place in Mexico or something. So it's just like in a random town. It's wild. I'll try to find it and I'll send you the link.
Okay, keep going.
I'm done.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna give me more information.
Wow, that wasn't good enough. Jeez, Chelsea.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. So I'm gonna ask you, what was your favorite exhibition then? I
Um,
want more info. Like you just kind of like left me wanting more. It's not fair.
my favorite, I think it would be the Day of the Dead section, the Dia de los Muertos, because they had an altar, they had the sugar skulls everywhere, they had just like all the beautiful colors, and it was like the only beautiful section of this whole museum. And I'm a huge fan of Dia de los Muertos. I even have a sugar skull tattooed on my thigh. So that would definitely be my favorite part of it all.
What one freaked you out the most? Like I know you couldn't watch the autopsy video, but was that like the worst thing in there or
I think that was for me the most like I don't like blood and guts. Like I just can't do gore. Like gory movies are not it for me. So to watch something on a real person that's real blood, real guts, real flesh cutting, like I couldn't do it. Um so that definitely bothered me a lot. I think another section that really got to me, they have a shrunken head in the museum.
I'm
And
sorry, what?
they have a shrunken head, like the one from like Beetlejuice.
Whose head?
I will look it up for you. But
How the fuck do you get a shrunken head?
hey man, these guys were really good on getting their hands on certain things. How do you spell museum? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I have it in my notes. I totally know how to spell museum. Do you have any other questions while I look for this?
Yeah, you said that they built the museum to make people feel lucky to be alive, right?
Uh-huh.
Did did you come out of the museum feeling lucky?
I mean, I came out of the museum happy to like get a good chunk of fresh air into my lungs. I don't know. I have a weird like relationship with death and the idea of death. So I guess you could say I walked out of there happy to be alive, but it kind of left me like, well, what the flip is gonna happen when I die? After watching that video, that I'm telling you, that video was it for me. Like it just like no thank you. I
See,
can't
I
get to
don't
meet
mind blood guts. Like, I don't mind watching any of that. Now, watching people throw up or gag, I can't do it.
yeah,
Even
I can't do that either.
even as a parent, like my oldest was sick one time and she was throwing up, and I legit was gagging the entire time, and I'm like trying to breathe like calmly so I don't make her more upset. But oh my god, I couldn't handle it. And then she like scraped her knee one time, and she's like, "Oh my god, the blood!" And I'm like, "Oh, you're fine." I'm like, "Stand up, I'll get you a bandage." Like, no
Oh.
big deal. I can handle blood just fine. I cannot handle throw up.
Yeah, I can handle other people's blood. I can't handle like other people's throw up though. But I for sure I can't handle my own blood. Like if I ever get cut and there's blood, I just know I'm about to pass out within the next minute or so.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it. When I had surgery a couple years ago to fix my brain because it was too dumb. You know how they have the IV in your arm when
Yeah.
they take it out? I couldn't watch her do it. I was like, just do it. And she's like, really? You can't watch? And I was like, nah, just take it out. And I was just kidding. I didn't get surgery on my brain. I'm intelligent. I know how to spell museum. But yeah, I couldn't watch her take out the IV. Like, ugh, no.
I always watch them.
Mm-mm.
And like if I get like a cut or something, um, I don't know, if I'm not near like paper towels or water or something, I'll just suck the blood away.
Anyways, so let's move on from this. I'm very uh
I
shit,
mean, I
don't
don't
get her
want
now
my blood to
currently.
get on other things, so I mean, it's got to
Wait,
go
what?
somewhere. I don't want my blood to get on other things. That's why I suck the blood off. Like if I'm not by something, that's a health hazard, especially at
All
work.
right. I will put you in my prayers tonight. Can we please move on to segment two? Chelsea, please tell me what serial killer you have. Let's move on from mine.
Okay, perfect. Let's talk about blood and gore. So,
Oh God.
yeah. So I know we're staying away from, well, I don't want to use, well, what term do I want to use? Popular, I guess.
Mhm.
More notable serial killers. Um, but we're going to talk about H. Holmes and Jack
Mhm.
the Ripper.
I'm excited.
So obviously, you know who they are.
Yes.
Have you heard the theory about them, though, that they're the same person?
Huh. No, I have not.
That sounded really fake. Are you sure you haven't heard that theory?
No, I haven't. I'm fake always. I am a fake person. What can I say? I'm just kidding. No, I
Yeah.
really haven't heard that theory.
Okay, so quick overview. So if our listeners, for some strange reason, have never heard or just need a reminder of these killers, H. Holmes, also known as Herman Webster Mudgett or Dr. Henry Howard Holmes, hence the H. Holmes, was an American con artist, murderer, and trigamist. He was credited as the first American serial killer. Um, his kill range was estimated to be between 20 and 200, but nobody actually could accurately total his kills. He lived from May 16th, 1861 until May 7th, 1896, when he was hanged at 34 years old. He was actively killing between December 25th, 1891, on Christmas, yes, and October 25th, 1894, in the states of Illinois, Indiana, Ontario, Canada, and Pennsylvania. Most known for the murder castle that he built, which had a basement, a first floor storefront, and a second and third story floor that was supposed to be used as a hotel. One of his most notable quotes was printed in the Philadelphia North American newspaper on April 11th, 1896, with him saying, "I was born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer, no more than the poet can help the inspiration to sing."
Oh.
That's one of my favorite quotes, and I don't know why.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
we know that I'm fucked up, but like, I don't know if it's just like the wording of how he said it, but it's just
Mhm.
like, I don't
I have
know.
I have a quick question.
Yeah,
Was H. Holmes the one who had like secret rooms in his
yeah,
little killer castle thing?
yeah. He had all the secret rooms, and that's why he was trying to build the hotel. I don't think it ever went through,
Uh-huh.
but that was his reasoning for building the second and third floor. Um,
And mhm.
was for all of his traps and stuff.
And one more question. If I remember correctly, he also hired and fired multiple construction companies to build this castle so nobody would have like the last official blueprint to it.
Yep.
That's wild. That's smart.
And actually, Supernatural did an episode on H. Holmes
What episode?
with Joe. The episode where they were investigating this apartment building, and it turned out that the apartment building was owned by H. Holmes.
Oof, I don't remember that
Oh
one.
my God, you forget everything.
Wow. Your bully is showing Chelsea. How do
It's
you like
not my
it?
fault that you forget everything that we talk about on this podcast. You don't remember that you were a
I'm not
bully.
even talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that you're picking on me right now.
I'm not picking out. I'm not picking on you.
No, no. Don't
Anyways,
use your little nice voice.
The episode of Supernatural had Joe. They were investigating disappearances, and Joe ends up getting kidnapped by H.H. Holmes' ghost.
Hmm.
Um, I really wish they hadn't killed her off.
Oh, dude. But you know what? She had to stick by her daughter, you know?
That was Ellen.
Oh, just
Joe was the
fucking
daughter.
kidding. Anyways, moving on.
Oh my God. Anyways, Jack the Ripper is a still unidentified serial killer in the East End of London in the year of 1888. He's also known as the Whitechapel murderer and Leather Apron. I always thought Leather Apron was a weird name to call him, but
I'm trying to
his,
picture a leather apron. I kind of like it.
his his kill range is 5, also known as the canonical 5, but there was 11 total murders that they tried to pin on him. The canonical 5 were 5 prostitutes who were murdered in 1888, and if the other 7 were indeed Jack's kill victims, then his killing spree would have ranged from August 1888 to November 1891.
So quick question. Is there a specific reason why they tried linking these other murders to him?
Yeah, the brutality of them.
Oh, the brutality of them.
Yeah, it was the brutality of them, and they also were like cut open like the other 5 victims, which
Hmm.
those 5 victims, they were believed to have been killed with surgical precision,
Hmm.
which is what linked them together, and that's what they were trying to link with the other 7. But all evidence to any suspects and the other murders, they were all circumstantial, and some people even suspected the royal family.
What?
Yeah, we'll come back to that later. Also, in during the time of his kills, letters were received by the newspapers that were said to be written by Jack the Ripper, but a lot of, oh, what is the term?
Come on, English major.
I know, I'm struggling so hard today. Anyways, most of the professionals that are familiar with his case in the history, they argue that the letters were written by reporters to gain publicity during the height of the crimes,
Mm.
and were possibly never even written by Jack the Ripper.
Wow, I never thought of that. Like that could happen.
Yeah. And then also in 2019, DNA evidence from the actual murders showed that a possible suspect, Aaron Komoniski, a Polish
Hmm.
barber, might have actually been Jack the Ripper. He was a suspect at the time of the murders, but again, all the evidence against him was circumstantial. It was believed that the scarf that they found semen on, which belonged to him, it was believed that the scarf was one of the victims.
Wow.
But they can't prove it because, a lot of people wore scars at the time and still do.
Hmm.
Anyways, the theory that H.H. Holmes is Jack the Ripper comes from Jeff Mudgett, who is the great great grandson of H.H. Holmes. He actually published all of his evidence for this theory in his book Bloodstains in 2011.
Hmm.
But he was given diaries that were written by Holmes,
Hmm.
and these diaries were analyzed and proven to be written by H. But it states that Holmes was in London at the height of Jack's murder spree.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's no paper trail of Holmes anywhere in the U.S. from July 1888 until 1889.
I love this. Ah.
Yeah, it gets better. A ship log confirms that Holmes left London after the 5th murder because they had H. Holmes written in their ship log. And
My jaw's on the floor.
yeah, And DNA tests show that it is possible that Jack the Ripper was a doctor for Queen Victoria, which goes back to the theory or the suspicion that the royal family was involved,
Hmm.
as the Queen's doctor would have surgical precision and experience and training and all that.
This is so wild. I'm so curious to know like how many people were aware of this theory because I had no clue, but wow.
Oh, there's more evidence. You want to hear
Oh gosh, keep going.
it? Have you ever seen a sketch of Jack the Ripper from back in the 1800s?
Probably, but I'm just gonna say no because I don't remember.
Okay, if you put a sketch of Jack the Ripper or what, like, because they were just sketch artists of based on what the witnesses show, but if you put a photo of one of those sketches next to a photo of H. Holmes, they look really similar.
I'm actually Googling it right now, and wow, they do.
Yeah,
Wow, dude, what?
those letters I told you about that were written to
Uh-huh,
the newspapers.
uh-huh,
So, according to a linguist who analyzed all the letters, specifically the Dear Boss letter, all the letters have names, but specifically in that one, it is attributed to being written by an American and not
hmm.
an Englishman.
I love it. Is there more? You just keep giving me more.
Yeah, I can keep going. So both Jack the Ripper and H. Holmes were planners in their kills. Holmes planned for the long run because he targeted women that he could claim insurance money from.
Uh-huh.
He was in it for the long haul. Whereas Jack the Ripper, he was short term, but he did have to plan moving around with police routines, and he would have to know all of their movements and how to get away. Which, by the way, if Jack the Ripper had access to that information, it would make sense that he would work for the Queen too.
Wow. And you know what I'm just reading right now?
What?
Uh, I was Googling the sketches and whatnot, and then I see Meghan Markle's face next to a photo of H. Holmes, and
Oh yeah,
apparently,
because yeah, his great great grandson, Jeff Mudgett, is actually an eighth cousin of her. Yeah.
wow,
So again,
interesting.
yeah, she gets tied to the royal family. It's
Yep,
crazy.
yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Ah, I love it.
So some experts, that's the word I was looking for. Jack the
Jesus.
Ripper experts. Oh my God. Anyways,
You're so embarrassing.
dude, I'm having such a bad night with talking, with speaking.
Stalking?
I was speaking and talking combined into one. Anyways, experts believe or they deny that the theory because their motives were different. Jack went after the poor people and went after their organs while Holmes was in it for the money.
Hmm.
But do you think that Holmes could have started as Jack and evolved in his killing techniques?
Oh, I love that. Yes. Period.
So you believe that Holmes is Jack the Ripper?
Oh yeah. I mean, after all the facts and information you just gave me, I'm a believer, dude. I'm a believer.
um,
That's just so wild.
Jeff,
Well, what do you think?
I think it's possible, yeah. And Jeff Mudgett, his great great grandson, is still working on this theory. And actually, I was watching a thing about it where some people are like, it's kind of an obsession for him.
Hmm.
So it's crazy. So he even had H. Holmes's body dug up.
What?
Yeah, because he wanted to get a DNA test done to make sure that that was actually Holmes's body. Because there was a theory that Holmes switched his body with somebody else and they hung the wrong guy. And
What the flip,
yeah,
dude?
yeah, and I believe if I hope I didn't read it wrong. I believe Jeff Mudgett was doing that to prove that those other seven murders could have been Jack the Ripper's
This is
because
just
those murders happened near the end of his lifetime. So if he had died when he was supposed to, so that's what he was looking into.
I'm hooked on this.
But I was telling you about how some people believe that the letters that were written to the press for Jack the Ripper could have been written by the press for propaganda.
Hmm.
Do you think it's possible, or do you think Jack the Ripper wrote any of them?
Well, I didn't, before you said that, I didn't see it as like a possibility beforehand. Like, I'm not sure why I never thought about that. That the press themselves could be the ones like writing these letters, just like the Zodiac killer, like with the coding. I don't know. I, I think I'm feeling like it was the press, but also like I'm not sure, you know. I would want to read these letters and kind of compare
Do
the
you think
letters.
also it could be both? Because remember that linguist that analyzed them said that it was written by an Englishman or not
Mm,
by an American. So maybe some of them were written by Jack the Ripper if he was H. Holmes, and the rest were written by the press for
see,
propaganda.
yeah, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, half and half.
Because like it wouldn't make sense for some of them to be analyzed as being written by an American and then the rest of them not fitting with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes more sense for sure.
Okay, I got one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I know I really didn't give like any evidence of it, but you did find that one thing on when you searched online. Do you think
Mm-hmm.
it's possible that the royal family was involved in Jack the Ripper, or
Oh,
either themselves or someone close to them, like the Queen's doctor being Holmes?
definitely, without a doubt, definitely. And I'm not saying like I believe they were, but you asked if it was a possibility. 100%, yes.
And I mean, it would make sense too because the royal family would have access to the classes to become a surgeon and a doctor and have that knowledge.
Yeah.
But
Oof. I'm not gonna see them the same. Well, I mean, there's other theories that I've heard about the royal family that made me change like how I look at them, but yeah, that's wild. So thank you for that, Chelsea. That was a wild ride. I really enjoyed. They should have just been a freaking H. Holmes, Jack the Ripper episode.
well, maybe we can still do one. Like later down the line, we'll just like go into deep detail.
Yeah, I would love that actually. It's a date,
A future date.
a future date. Oh. So ending on that note, do you want to give us our the tarot card reading for Jazz?
Sure. So
Sure.
you're lucky I can't punch you.
You wouldn't.
I would. Anyways, back to the tarot reading. So Jazz's first question is, am I on the right path? And the card that was felt was the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups represents a sense of happiness and fulfillment, harmony and alignment in relationships, happy families, divine love, and so all of this describes your life right now. As far as whether or not you're on the right path, it seems to be so. Your next question was, are my loved ones who have passed looking out for you? And the card that was felt was the Page of Swords. And your thirst for knowledge can lead to interesting discoveries. You're speaking out and ready to engage in passionate debates, and you can't wait to share your messages. So I feel like you need to look more into speaking with your past loved ones.
That's exactly how, like, what I'm thinking after you read
Yeah,
that. Like, maybe try to find time, alone time, where in your own way you can try to communicate with them and not necessarily like a Ouija board type things, but writing
yeah,
in a
even like
journal and writing specifically to a certain somebody, you know?
yeah, and pay attention to your dreams too. And even meditation can help with that. If you just open your mind, you can see signs from loved ones that have passed, even if they're not outright visible. You just have to look further into the things that you see.
Hmm.
Your last question, is your partner the right one? The card that was felt was the Three of Wands. You're spreading your wings right now and experiencing life. You might be moving abroad or traveling. You might be involved in a long distance relationship, but you're free and confident and moving forward. And all of your hard work and your planning is paying off. So keep doing what you're doing. And if it's meant to be, it's going to be meant to be.
And it might not mean long distance as in physically, but possibly emotionally as well.
Hmm.
So keep that in mind.
So just keep going. You're on the right path.
You got this, Jazz. We believe in you.
And on that note, thank you guys for joining us this week. Make sure you give our social medias a follow. We'll be answering questions and doing polls. If you want a tarot card reading from us, feel free to tweet us or DM us your questions. and we'll choose one lucky person every week. There is a link in our bio to our link tree, which has links to all the rest of our social media. But we're very Instagrammy right now, aren't we?
Yep, I mean, Instagram bestie, you know?
Yeah, that's true. We're your hosts. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Veronica.
Have a spooky weekend. Talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.